Because one of the most powerful things that you said to me is there's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with your story. And that means something happened to you. So when we think about these punishing voices that we revisit ourselves in our internal monologue, you might do it 34 times, you might do it 1,500 times for one incident. Imagine you would never chastise anybody 1,500 times for one incident over the course of a decade, but you'll do that to yourself. And once you can come to embrace the concept that there's nothing wrong with you, there's something wrong with your story, and that means something happened to you, you start to have an understanding that you can sit outside of time and become the observer of the thought. And when you become the observer of the thought, you stop judging yourself and you put it into context. And that's where the healing starts. But outside of the healing at a psychological level, you now start to vibrate the understanding that you have of yourself based on that healing that you've rewarded yourself with.
It's so hard, because if people appreciate that, they actually impact their environment. As you think, you create your path, which means what is your most deepest, most cherished, most unfortunately negative thought has a magnetic potential, and it's pulling towards you the ingredients to be able to work that situation out. So if you're in a negative thought, you're going to have more negative scenarios pop up in your mind, which your spirit or essence or consciousness is trying to use those events to try and work out the best solution. Yeah. Your mind is not in time. Your consciousness is not in time. You wasn't, you had to be educated to what time is externally. So from when you had to be educated about a thing, it's not natural. The total aim really is for you to be able to see yourself in a chair, observing reality and having control of what you create. You are blank, one piece of essence, and you've created everything else. This is hard to convey. And as Dean was saying, most people are suffering from their own forms of trauma and their own judgments. Heaven and hell are just two parts of your memory. Yeah, either you're in a heaven state memory or a hell state memory, and you're constantly, as Dean is saying, replaying. As a result, sometimes, how do you say, if you're feeling down, you're going to use a good memory as like a sweet, a placebo, a coffee, a tea, to continuously drink it so that you can maintain the actual emotions within your body.
Yeah.
The same thing for a negative thought. You're going to basically do everything you can to run away. But guess what? The same way what you consume physically is basically nothing compared to what you consume mentally. And the same way your body wants to eliminate food, your mind wants to eliminate thoughts. So it's constantly in a situation where it's bringing these thoughts up, hoping that you're now at the wisdom where you can now think of a way of diffusing your own thoughts and images within yourself to prevent the frequency of emotion that you're now permeating throughout your whole system. Your whole body is traumatized. Every cell in your body has a thinking aspect to it. And when you have a negative thought, you disperse it through yourself. That's where the whole concept of feeling and sensation comes from. Energy, emotion, but it's intelligence. It's your understanding that goes to every cell. Not one part of you is traumatized, all of you, but you are the guiding God. You are the consciousness inside. And with your thoughts, your feelings change.